Hi, this is Phil from PDQ Merchant Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind Group page. And today we're here to talk about why I can't get an ATM business checking account with any of the banks that I went to. So I hear it all the time, hey, I went to this bank, I went to that bank, I can't seem to get a checking account. So we listed some items that one of the challenges with the banks and what they're having with you as the ATM operator and how to overcome some of those, or to at least diagnose so you know what the challenges are that the banks are having with you. Where I'd like to start is I want to tell you a story of when we first got into the mobile ATM business and how that translates into this. So stick with me on this. We'll go all the way around and we'll make a point to this. All right, so what happened is about 15 years ago, I had a friend of mine come to me and said, hey, Phil, I know you're in the ATM business. What I'd like to do is we run a festival and we don't have a cash solution. And we would like you to put an ATM in our festival grounds. And I said, well, when is it? And he said, well, it's Thursday night, Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And I said, well, where is it? And he told me where it was. And I said, wait a minute. The festival grounds are in an empty field and it backs up into a lake. And you want me to put this ATM in the middle of the field? He says, yeah, I want you to put the ATM in the middle of the field. And that way, when people come to the festival, they have cash because they run out of cash and then they leave and it's not good for the festival. The beer sales are bad, the food sales are bad. And so what we thought is if we had an ATM, we could put it there, they go in there, they get the money out, and they could stay at the festival longer. And I said, I'm not interested in putting an ATM in the middle of the field. That's just too high risk for me. And he says, come sit down with our board and at least talk about it. I said, all right. So I went there, sat down with him. He told me, look, you keep 100% of the money and you can put the ATM in there. And I said, where would I put it? He told me he's gonna put it in the shelter. Okay, so we took an old ATM, we put chains on it, and we put it in this pavilion, in this field. He also ensured me that we're gonna have nighttime security around the clock, so it's gonna be secure. I said, okay, fine. So we did this for a few years, and then he came to me and he told me, hey, the chamber who runs this festival is making some changes. They need some extra money, and a local bank is going to sponsor the ATM. And just like that, after probably about 4 or 5 years of flawless service, we're going to lose this ATM. And it was a nice little added revenue every season. So I went and I had a conversation with the chamber and I had a conversation with the bank. And I discovered that, you know what, I don't have a good relationship with this bank. So what we did is we cultivated a relationship with the bank so we could, in fact, open up the bins so their customers could get free checking account or free surcharge on that ATM. And then they would open up different opportunities when they were called upon to put a mobile ATM in any of the festivals around the area. So we cultivated, and that got me thinking, you know what the challenge is we don't have relationships with the banks that we're trying to do business with. So that's why we're gonna make this video to help you guys come up with, point number one is to come up with a relationship. You're trying to do business with this bank and you're gonna tell them all the challenges associated with the ATM business as far as they're concerned, and they're not really advantageous to go into business with you. So point number one, develop a relationship with that bank before you try to open up an account, okay? Point number two is you're gonna tell them, hey, I'm gonna come in twice a week and drain my account from, let's say you're just starting out, let's say you got $5,000, $10,000 in that ATM account, or you got a couple, you're gonna take all that out twice, maybe on Tuesdays and Fridays. Banks don't like that. It's a lot of up and down, and they get nervous about that cash and draining it. So I suggest, you know what, leave a little in there every time so you have maybe $1,000 so it doesn't drain it down to zero, okay? Point number three is they want to know, they have this thing called KYC, which is know your customer, and they want to get to know you. That's why I tell you in point number one, develop the relationship with that bank before you do. So they know who you are, they've seen you around, and that you have some history. You're just not some kind of guy to come in there, or a woman or a company that comes in and they don't know who you are. So I'm telling you, develop that relationship, let them know your business, and then that'll help ease some of their pain with the KYC stuff that they have to do. So the third thing is the banks are afraid. They're afraid of you're going to come in, you're going to request $5,000 to $50,000 or more, depending on how long you've been in business. They're going to be afraid of you taking all this and holding up the teller line. So one of the things you want to sit down with the manager or whoever and you say, look, I don't need you to count the money back to me. It's already banded, or you get the money from the Fed. That's what you can hand back to me. I'm okay with that. So that way they don't have to physically count that money back to you. They're just going to hand you that money. That will ensure that you don't hold up the teller line at all. And one of the other things is you want to be real discreet when you go to the bank, and you want to assure the branch manager, look, I'm going to come in there. Maybe I got a duffel bag or I got some kind of bag. You're going to put it in. I'm going to sign my paper and I'm going to leave. Therefore, there's not a lot of risk on the bank's part as far as they're worried about you walking out with a significant amount of money. They get nervous about that, and it opens up thoughts. So you're just going to do it very discreetly. You're going to let that manager know that you're going to do that. Now, we have 2 more tips that we're going to give in the ATM Mastermind group page of ways that you can ensure to develop a relationship with the bank and ensure that you can get this account that you're trying to get. All right, so always remember to like and subscribe our YouTube channel below. Always comment on the video what you're looking for, not only if you like this video or you want to make, you want for us to make other videos. You can do so by just clicking down below and making a comment. And also go to the ATM Mastermind group page, free to join. I hope these tips are going to help you over in the Mastermind group page. I'll see you over there, and thank you for liking, subscribing, and you keep growing our YouTube channel. Thank you very much.